We were part of the majority, I think, who used to sit in front of the TV screen every evening to have the briefing from a government minister and some scientists.
Messaging from the government was generic. It wasn't community specific.
I very much felt that it was all aimed at white middle class England.
A series of conflicting reports coming out on news channels.
Found that it became quite depressing to watch.
The messages from the government weren't so clear. The chief medical officer was saying, 20,000 or so deaths would be an acceptable death, and here we are with over 150,000 now from that disease. So it's very hard to digest that.
I mean, I certainly recall when the vaccinations were first introduced, so many within the Chinese community were refusing to take it because they didn't know what was in it.
So in our household, I remember every single day coming home and my mother-in-law would have had 5 different messages about different things. And she would ask me, "Beta, Sachuche, is this true?"
Misinformation about the origin of the virus, the nature of the measures that were being required of the population, rubbed some communities up the wrong way. There's no two ways about it.
Information does get twisted a little bit as it's passed on because it's interpreted by each person that hears it before it's then passed on to the next person.
If I saw any misinformation being spread on any family groups I was part of, I very, very quickly corrected it without embarrassing or showing any anger to the person that had sent it, because it wasn't really their fault. It's very difficult for the layperson to understand when something is true or not.
We are oral society. The only way we can stay in touch is in cafes and ladies when they are together at homes.
The diversity and plurality of the communities wasn't really taken into account when we're talking about how information was spread.
It is overwhelming because the bombardment of those information was so high that we could not keep up with it.
There was one point when every sermon was about COVID. It kind of felt like that's all I was talking about every week.
Actually, they didn't address some of the local issues, and particularly issues that may be affecting specific communities. What we did was also translate some of that information into our community languages.
A good number of large mosques in Coventry is a radio system. The prayers are transmitted to the CB radio device in the households. This has been going on for 20 odd years now. That was an ideal situation for COVID in that sense. We were already set up for that, and that was how that messaging was being delivered.
The misinformation is the biggest challenge, and that's where a lot of medics, a lot of professionals in our community are the ones where we go to.
It was a fantastic event. I believe in the end there was about 8,000 people that tuned in, so it was on Zoom. That maxed out within seconds of it opening up. They streamed it on YouTube, it was streamed on Facebook, it was just phenomenal.
Actually, that's where our health professionals did come into play, because they could say, and because they are known in the community and trusted, then I am more likely to follow them.
And it was interesting how very quickly our elders in our community started to embrace, adapt and learn to use these technologies, which was otherwise alien to them.
Like everything, the senior citizens, they are not afraid of technology, but they're slow because that's how life is.
I think better information, better link with the communities, and especially passing on the information in their own language. That would be the best thing we can do it.
And I think the best thing about the country that we live in is that we don't enforce our views or force people to do things other than what they believe. We give everyone the choice.